Today, my guest is Tal Raz, CMO at ZoomInfo, which is a platform for go-to-market teams that is doing a crazy 1.2 billion in annual recurring revenue. Very successful company, public company. And I'm very excited about this conversation for three reasons. First of all, GTM, go-to-market, is a super hot topic right now. If for anyone who's not living under a rock and logs into LinkedIn to scroll their feed, I'm sure they see a lot of posts about GTM. I think that's because of AI, because AI is unlocking lots of new things. The second reason is ZoomInfo is the perfect company to talk to when it comes to GTM. They are the thought leaders. They practice what they preach. I think they have one of the best, if not the best, sales organization in the world, because they're literally kind of thought leaders in the space. And finally, Tal herself has been with the company for 9 years. So she knows the internal kitchen very well. She grew together with the company. So I'm very excited to talk to her. Tal, welcome to Ahrefs podcast.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you for this introduction. And it's great to be here.
Awesome. Also, what's very important is that you didn't do a lot of interviews. I think we found only one interview from maybe a year or two ago. So this is an exclusive one, and I'm very, very excited to talk to you and learn more about GTM and how you folks approach marketing at ZoomInfo. And I want to start from kind of a tricky question, because the way I understand ZoomInfo, I am a total newbie in all that. At Ahrefs, we have always been inbound. We didn't have a large sales organization, so I'm just learning the ropes. And the way I understand ZoomInfo, like on a surface level, you're a contact database. So whatever your target market is, you can find the target accounts, you can find their contact information, and you can reach out to them and try to sell your product, which is what a lot of companies are doing, yourself, ZoomInfo included. But when you have all the contact information of your prospects, when you have so much data enrichment, you know a lot of signals, and you can reach out to them with relevant messages, and you have a large and effective sales organization, why do you even need marketing? So why do you need marketing at ZoomInfo when you use your own product to get customers? How does it work?
Oh, love this question. I don't know if it's a secret that I'm going to share, but ZoomInfo growth is totally driving on inbound. Totally driving on inbound. I know that we are also the masters of outbound. We probably have the best sales organization and the best partners to go outbound with. But majority of our new business mix today is coming from inbound. We have a well-oiled inbound machine of traffic that is converting to MQLs, that is converting to demos, an engine that was built through many years and optimized through many years, with many channels that we are activating to drive that inbound. And even the way we are doing outbound today is to keep driving inbound. We know that going completely cold will probably not be enough. You need to go cold, warm, and then make them hot. The way to make them hot is when they are coming to you and asking to learn more and asking to see a demo. And this is basically the motion. We have a strong wheel of outbound that is basically fueling inbound, that today is the fastest transactions with the highest conversions.
So then the way I understand it, how you use your own product, if you're saying that you have a lot of inbound and a lot of your customers are coming to you rather than you reaching out to them cold without them not even knowing your name, I guess where you need your product is that when lead comes, your software helps to kind of branch out what is called the buying committee, because one person might sign up for a trial or a test, but you want to know who are the decision makers, who you want to get in touch with, who is considering your software. So this is where you need this data, even when people are coming to you inbound. Am I correct?
Exactly. We are using our data and our products in every step of generating the inbound traffic and then also converting the inbound traffic. So for example, the first interaction with inbound traffic will be on our website when we know the experience that we want to show to this domain, or when we want to show or when we want to control the experience after the form fill. Our ability to enrich the data and show minimum number of fields on our forms is powered by our products. Then our ability to enrich the additional data that we need to score the lead and to prioritize it to our sales team is also being powered by our own data and our own products. Then also how we want to route them based on that data, how we want to prioritize the demos then to the account executives, all powered through the entire funnel with our data. And then even when we sit and we think how we are going to optimize the funnels, how we are going to optimize the campaigns, how we are going to optimize the conversions, it's all being powered by our data, our ability to break the metrics by segments, our ability to understand who is the buying persona. Is the buying persona is the one that came to the website and convert, or do we need to go multi-trade that account? We have an individual contributor that came to our website. It shows it's an intent for this account. So we are going and we are expanding, we are multi-trading the account to the decision makers. We know who are the decision makers. Again, it's powered by our own product to basically then continue this flywheel of outbound. We have an inbound from an account. It's probably not a decision maker, or if it's not a decision maker, we will multi-trade the account to engage the entire buying committee for our solution. We match that with the use case that we can offer to this account based on a list of use cases that we have. And then we go with specific talk tracks and specific value propositions for the buying committee of the account that we are trying to reach.
You wrote something interesting on your LinkedIn. Don't wait for leads, go get them. There's a growing gap between teams that still wait for buyers to come to them and the teams that go find them. So that is not inbound, that is outbound, or maybe I'm misunderstanding the terminology. Like what is the thought process behind this post? What are you referring to?
You totally understand. I think what happened in the last year creates that need of going outside of the inbound channels. And this post is very relevant to what we see that is happening recently. If 2 years ago, if someone is looking for something if someone is looking for a solution like ours, they will come to our website, they will read our product pages, and they will convert to see a demo. In the world today, they basically open Gemini or ChatGPT, and they do the entire discovery, even if it's in Google, probably with Google AI overview. So the traffic and the inbound that we use to feel very comfortable that came to our website, and everyone in the industry feeling that, is now doing the discovery outside of our content, outside of the narrative that we controlled up until 2 years ago. So again, ZoomInfo grew in the past 10 years, so since I've been here, before as well, but in the last 10 years, the main driver was inbound. But in the last year, we understand that our ability to keep growing just by inbound, just by waiting for the traffic to come to us, is going to be limited. And we need to explore new channels. We need to explore new ways to create visibility to the users that are doing discovery outside of our own pages. If it's AI visibility, if it's AI overview inside Google, if it's even influencers and social channels and dark social sometimes, because in today's world, and it's a shift that happened in the last year and a half, 2 years, and I strongly believe that it's going to continue to happen. It's completely changing the game on us, on the search traditional marketers. We need to expand the channels of reach. This is where outbound is coming to play, but it must be smart outbound. It cannot be spray and pray. It needs to be very targeted, very focused, very aligned with your cross-functional sales team, to basically go and bring and create visibility and awareness in the right places to the right audiences. So I think that, just to summarize, the main growth driver up until now was inbound. It's still kind of inbound, but we need to make sure that we are investing and we are researching and we are innovating outside of the inbound channels, because the growth will continue to come from there. Those who will not realize that and will not invest in outbound, smart outbound, focused outbound, they will probably stay behind.
First of all, this is music to my ears that you care about being mentioned and being recommended in ChatGPT, Gemini, and everything, because this is what Ahrefs is trying to solve for our customers. We're introducing new products, we're creating data. Awesome, thank you. So yeah, this is music to my ears. But speaking about outbound, so as we were preparing for this interview, Michelle, my podcast producer, actually gave me an interesting thing that happened, I think, last week. I got an outreach email in my inbox where someone was congratulating me on Series D. And Ahrefs is a bootstrapped company. We never got funding. So someone's AI automation got wrong, and I got sent an email, congratulations on Series D. Do you want to talk about that and that? And I replied, thank you, but what Series D are you talking about? So yeah, like you're saying, outbound should be very relevant, very personalized, very timely and all that. And it seems that there's a lot of conversation about, oh, you can use AI agent, they can give you all this relevant information. But then what happens is you get emails congratulating you on Series D while you're a bootstrapped company. How do you think of that? How, like, what you can trust and cannot trust AI, and what is a good outbound motion, outbound system in your opinion?
And what you just said is music to my ears. Those kinds of use cases that are happening a lot. And I think the way I summarize it, or we summarize it, and we see it across the entire industry, is basically an execution gap. As we understand that there is a need for us to go in other channels in front of our customers, many marketing teams putting new strategies and try to go after the strategies. And the questions that they are asking ourselves: do we need more tools? We need more tools. We need tools to give us signals. We need tools to give us data. We need tools that will create automations. We need more AI. We need more agents. How we can drive the campaign, how we can go and how we do that, instead of actually analyzing what they have. Is it the right things? Is it the right tools? Is adding additional tools is going to help us? Is adding additional AI automation on top of so many tools is actually going to drive the right personalized campaigns? And the way I like to basically analyze if teams have execution gaps is to look on 3 pillars. The first one, and it's basically what created that wrong email that you got, is the data gap. How many tools or how many data sources you need to use to activate a campaign? If you need to bring funding signals from this place and content information from another place and company information from a third place, and you have your own engagement data and you have your sales recordings and you have an intent data that you bring from another place, working on so many products and so many tools and putting on top of them an AI engine probably not going to help you be accurate. Another gap is the alignment with your sales partners. Do you guys sit together and understand after what audience we want to go and what are the signals that will trigger us going after them. We first need to make sure we are working on the right data. We have the right tools and not a lot of tools. It's not about introducing a huge tech stack. Do we have the right tools? Are we looking at the right data? Is something breaking between us trying to integrate all those tools and all the data together? And then making sure we are triggering upon the right signal with the right message that is very coordinated with our sales partners that we are creating air cover for.
You have a product called GTM Studio. Isn't this
Right.
product solving for that? Isn't this product exactly using AI agent to find relevant context and actually send automated messages? Right?
Exactly.
Why didn't you mention it?
You want me to mention our products? I can name them. No problem.
I'm just teasing you a little bit. Yeah, I saw mention on LinkedIn. I think from one of your employees who was talking about your GTM Studio product. That it uses AI. There are no templates. That it doesn't rely on templates. It uses like bespoke, personalized messages for every person. Yeah, my first thought is that does it create those congratulations on Series D blunders that I got? Do you track kind of the success rate of this product? How do you understand how successful this product is right now?
For sure. I think number one success metrics for us with this product is the time from an idea to a campaign launch. And when I'm measuring the time, in the past, I could have come to the team and say, hey, let's take this audience, this specific audience that is triggered by this signal. Let's take the list, download the list, scrub the list, remove existing customers from the list, add buying committee to the list, make sure we have a personalized message to each content on the list, enrich the data, of course, on the engagement for everyone in the list. Then let's go to our sales partners and make sure that if we have an SDR follow-up on that list and on that campaign, they have the right talk track. The use case is aligned to the talk track that we are trying to solve for. Now bring engineers, right? IT engineers, data engineers, because I need them to download the company list from here. Those guys need to scrub it from here. We need to remove duplicates. We need to remove customers. We need to make sure they are not in a different sequence that are being approached to. We need to make sure there is not an active opportunity going up with them, so we will distract them. All of that, team, can take weeks. In the middle, you will get the list. You will have bugs in the list. You need to go back to the engineers. There is no priority to work again on your list. You need to wait. That idea that I had on the signal is probably not relevant anymore, or not relevant to 60 or 70% of the accounts on that list. Someone else already might took them, or they found the solution in some way. And that time of weeks is critical, because it's basically creating this execution gap. You had a great idea. It's an amazing campaign. It could have converted so much for us, and we failed because we couldn't bring the right list, the most accurate list, to activation in time. And the way for me as a marketer that is using Go-to-Market Studio, the way to know that it's the right product for what we are trying to achieve is that time from an idea to a campaign activation, to a campaign measurement, and to a campaign optimization. That's for me the key. That's for me the game changer, and the ability to do it all by myself. I don't need to go to RevOps. I don't need to go to the data engineers. I don't need to ask them to download a list, to scrub a list, to compare it to existing sequences. It's filters that I'm adding, and it's just a plug and play. Boom, I have a list. I'm calling Lou, my sales partner on the mid-market side. Hey, Lou, that's the trigger. That's the filtering. We are going with this message. Are you cool? Yes, Tal, this is amazing. Exactly who we need to go after. The campaign is live. We want to go on LinkedIn. We want to go on YouTube. We want to sales and outreach from an SDR and outreach from Lou and outreach from me. It's all just, steps in the workflow of one tool that consolidate and unified everything for you. It's unified the data. It's unified how you want to slice and dice it, who is the right target audience, and then how you want to act upon it. And of course, the measurement that is critical. And we might not talking about it enough, but if at the end I am just counting MQLs and each MQL is being created differently, and it's very disconnected with how my sales partners are counting their success or measuring their success, then it will not work. At the end, we all need to look on the pipeline that was created from that activation. Did it move the needle or it not, or it didn't move the needle? Did it move a little bit and there is place for optimization, or it didn't work at all, or we own on something exciting and we should go and scale and do more of it. So that's for me how I will measure Go-to-Market Studio.
Okay, probably I focus too much on the use case of sending the actual email, while the real value starts from bringing in all the data, making sure that it is recent, making sure that it is accurate, and not needing to nudge different people in your organization to get this data from them, but rather you have access to it.
And just one sentence, you are not limited by the creativity of the campaigns that you can run. No one can tell you, no, this data point is missing or broken, or it will take me 2 weeks to bring it to your table. It's there. You can AI columns. You can customize the list however you want. It sits on top of your entire data and create this unified intelligence layer that is very easy, again, to slice and dice to create the exact audience that is triggered on the exact signal to go and activate the list together with the message and the attached use case.
Yeah. So what I'm getting from this is that the congratulations on Series D email that I've got, it might not necessarily have been a hallucination from AI as much as it might have been a cause of bad data practices. So some data fields merged incorrectly, my email and like our company name appeared somewhere else, and then AI took this information and sent the email. But
100%.
when it comes to...
sorry for cutting you. We say it a lot. Your AI and your AI agents are only good as the data beneath what they are working on. And this phrase was accurate when AI burst into our lives, and it's still accurate today. The data underneath it is what's going to drive the success.
When it comes to outbound with AI, again, I'm not very good with terminology, but it's kind of SDR role, right? Sales development representative, someone who identifies the lead and reaches out and tries to gauge if there's any interest in talking to the sales team. Am I correct? So yeah, I've seen some companies that are promoting AI SDRs, like fire your SDR team. Now AI is going to do all of that. So what I would love to see is within a large enough organization who have at least, 50 SDRs, where they would implement this AI SDR agent, whether it runs on ZoomInfo data, whether it's on something else. And I would love to see, because typically sales organizations are very metric driven. So you know how many emails you sent, you will know how many replies you got, you know how many sales meetings you booked for the sales team. So I would love to see where this AI agent performs within the team. Is it like top 10%? Is it bottom 10%? Or is it like in the middle? I don't think I saw anyone do this kind of thing or publish their results like this is our SDR organization and this is where our AI agent sits.
Yeah,
Have you seen anything?
I think it's very interesting, and I also still didn't saw someone that transferred big proportions of SDRs to this kind of motion. I would love to ask you, as a buyer, will you talk with AI SDR?
Good question. I have mixed signals about this. Some people are saying that they would rather talk to AI kind of as a robot rather than talking to a real person. Other people say they would rather talk to a real person. So I guess time will tell. But again, to put this in perspective, what I'm seeing a lot of is I'm seeing a lot of like CEOs and founders saying that AI has basically replaced half of their customer support team. So if you have like great help documentation, very detailed, constantly updated, then AI agent can answer a lot of chats, and you don't need this big of a headcount. I've heard it at least 5 times. Sometimes I've heard it personally. Sometimes I saw it on LinkedIn. So I see a lot of that. But I'm not hearing this kind of sentiment about AI outreach SDR agent so far. But we'll see where this goes.
I can tell you where I see success. I see success when there is AI agents implemented through the discovery process before raising the hand. So, for example, if similar to a chat on a web page, an AI agent on a web page that helps you with questions, basic questions about the product, about the use case, about the value, and then basically helps you to go to the conversion step. Very
That's
similar
kind of
to
customer support.
very similar to how we see chats on websites. And also where I see AI powering SDRs is with talk tracks. Something that we are doing and we see a lot of success is basically we created a talk track map based on keyword and the talk track for the SDR. So all of our campaigns are mapped to keywords, are mapped to use cases. Then when the SDR calls the prospect or the prospect is calling us, the conversion point or the conversion reason automatically generates the talk track for the SDR. And so it's very easy for the SDR to open the door by talking to a pain point that is still in our user, because this is what he was looking for. This is the answer that he was searching for. And the SDR can open the conversation based on that keyword, based on that pain point.
Let's switch gears a little bit. I want to talk about your role as a CMO of this big company. I think previously when we talked with you, you said the entire marketing team is about 100 people.
Less than 100 people, but something like that.
And you're based in Israel.
Yes.
But most of the marketing team is in the US.
Yes.
The first question is, how do you manage the time zone difference? Is like a lot of communication asynchronous, or do you not have a lot of meetings? How does it work?
I think that what guides me is this very, very strong willingness and motivation to show that I can do it from Israel. So yes. And it's kind of this strong willingness and motivation exists in me in the last 9 years that I'm here at ZoomInfo. That I can do that. I can do that from Israel. I can do that being a mom. I can do that. And this is why from early stage, I basically created this environment that I am here. I am always here for my team. I'm just one Slack away. I'm one Zoom call away. Whatever we can do through Slack or through voice recording or through video recording, of course we will do, and it will be efficient. But if they need this FaceTime with me, if we need to go online, if we need to research something, if we need to brainstorm on something, I will always be available. I work long hours. I have 3 mornings every day. I have the Israel morning, I have the East Coast morning, I have the West Coast morning, and I'm looking on the positive
When
thing.
is West Coast morning for you?
7 p.m.
7 p.m. Do you
7
have to
p.m.
often stay late?
I stay late majority of the week. I have to say that the West Coast team is going above and beyond to start very, very early their days. We have analytics team on the West Coast, and they are waking up almost every day at 5 a.m. To work with the Israel team and to work with the East Coast team. ZoomInfo is an international company. We have a site in India, we have a site in Israel, we have sites in Europe and through the entire United States. And what leading us is that we are an international company, and it means that we are very invested in making it work. We have communication rules. We also respect each other's time, and we respect the work-life balance. But we understand that the most important thing is to make this company successful. So we are all leaning in. If it means to stay late, if it means to start early, and to put our own boundaries. So for example, like I told you, I have 3 mornings every day, but in the middle of the day, right after I spend few hours with the Israel team and right before the East Coast is waking up, I'm stopping and I'm eating lunch with my kids every day. It's
You
not
work from
something
home?
we are hybrid. So majority of the mornings I will be in the Israel office. Then afternoon, let's say 2 p.m., maybe it's too detailed, but 2 p.m. I will pick up the kids from school. I will eat lunch with them. I will spend like an hour and a half, 2 hours with them. And then 4 p.m. I will log in again until almost midnight. But to make it work, you need to really, really love it, Tim. You need to love it. You need to be passionate about it. You need to be motivated. And I'm very, very, very lucky that I love it. I believe that when it will stop being fun for me, maybe I will think differently. But at the moment, I love it. I love the interaction. I love the fact that many of my best friends live at the States. I love travel, and I love to host them here. And it works. It works for me. I hope it will continue working.
Yeah, definitely. When you love your job, it of course solves for many problems. I also often stay late. I take my notebook and work on vacations. Well, not necessarily work, but make sure that the projects that need some kind of my decision, they don't wait for me. So if I can spend 30 minutes while I'm at a vacation somewhere to unblock people, I would do it. And not because it's a chore. I actually like the feeling. Okay, I logged in 30 minutes. I made a bunch of decisions. Projects are moving. I can relax, and I know that when I return, I won't be swamped with a lot of backlog, so to say. So
Yes, for sure.
I completely with you here.
With the seniority comes a lot of responsibility.
Yeah,
and if
of course.
you want to move to those kinds of roles, and if you want to be impactful, and if you want to feel fulfilled, it's not
a 9 to 5.
It's not going without saying. And again, you need to love it. You just need to love it.
Yeah. I want to also talk about the kind of the KPIs and goals that you have, because you're a big public organizations. So as a CMO, how do your KPIs and goals look like? What are you measured on? What do the leadership of the company request from you, or I don't know, the board of directors, or how does it work?
The main KPI for us is ACV. Is new business ACV and existing business ACV. It's the main goal. I can go and I see many, and we did that in the past as well. Many marketing teams measure themselves on MQLs. We drove the MQLs. We met the targets of MQLs. We drove the MQLs. Driving MQLs is not enough. It's about how those MQLs converting through the funnel. Did you drove the right MQLs? Did you drove them in the right stage for them to become an MQL. This definition is critical, and this definition always also changing. When I started here 9 years ago, we had one definition for MQL. Today, it's a completely different definition for MQL. So we constantly need to optimize it. But ACV, it's ACV.
ACV, average contract value?
Annual contract value.
Annual contract value.
Yes. We can call it revenue, but basically that's the main metrics that we are measuring. And on the marketing side, specifically the revenue that is being influenced by the marketing team. So how are MQLs converting through the funnel in the most efficient way to drive as much as possible of the ACV? So again, we are kind of working backwards from ACV to top of the funnel and not from top of the funnel to ACV. Because for my CRO co-partner to feel that the marketing team is doing everything possible for his team to meet their number, we need to look on the same number. And the number that we are looking on is revenue. From that, the pipeline that we create to generate that revenue, because pipeline is more of an immediate metric that we can measure if what we are doing this week or this month is actually working. And we are going backwards from that to understand how we are fueling those targets all the way top of the funnel.
So you have quarterly revenue goals, and you have to hit them every quarter, or how
we
does
have
it work?
monthly. We have monthly revenue monthly that are summarized to quarterly, that are summarized to annually, and they are constantly being compared to the previous quarter and to the same quarter a year ago. And yes, monthly to quarterly.
You mentioned your CRO, Chief Revenue Officer, your Chief Marketing Officer. I would imagine there's Chief Product Officer, there's Chief Sales Officer, or whoever.
Our CRO is owning sales.
Yeah. How does the hierarchy work? Because this is also kind of a bit of a holy war. Should sales report to marketing, or should marketing report to sales? Like, who's more important, CMO or CRO? How does it work at ZoomInfo?
So all of us report to Henry, our CEO, and the group called ELT, which is the leadership group. To Henry, we have the CRO that owns the entire revenue organization, sales development, revenue operation, customer success.
Customer success is it's customer success, not customer support. Okay.
Customer success and customer support and sales
under
enablement.
CRO.
Yes, all sit under CRO. We have marketing, which is CMO. We have CPO that owns products end to end. And we have CFO, which is our Chief Finance Officer that also is part of the group. We have Chief Security Officer that is part of the group, and we have Chief Operation Officer, Chief Operation Officer that is also part of the group.
When you're saying that your KPI is new revenue or just revenue generated in a month, that KPI is shared at least between you and CRO, and I would argue CPO as well, because if the product didn't ship interesting competitive things that you can sell, you can go to Henry and say, look, we did all these campaigns, but people are not buying the product. So there's a lot of opportunity for kind of cross-blaming. Oh, it's sales are not selling, marketing not marketing, product not producting. Is there any kind of KPI for marketing department specifically, or is just like you understand each other, you are on good terms,
No,
you are a team?
For sure there is KPIs for marketing specifically. Just to the chief conversation, I don't want to forget our CTO. So we also have a Chief Technology Officer, Philip, the amazing Philip. But for sure, like I told you earlier, the KPI is revenue ACV growth of the company. From that, we are going backwards and breaking the targets by teams. So from revenue to pipeline, we have a team that their target is pipeline. From pipeline to demos, the sales development team target is demos. From demos back to MQLs, our target is MQL. But again, this funnel is living and breathing. We constantly optimize it. We constantly understand this channel converts higher rates of demos. So the target for this month from this channel is going to be X MQLs, and from these channels, Y MQLs, and from this channel, Z MQLs. It's constantly evolving for us to meet this revenue goal. Of course, when our CPO is working on a new product, he's talking with us. I believe that this product is going to introduce a new market that worth that amount of millions, and the total addressable market for us will be this amount of companies, and we can go with this product by this date, and the potential is that amount of ACV. It's a very collaborative conversation together with our CFO, and this is how we are building planning for the year and for the year after. But the funnel from revenue all the way up to MQL, and even above it, we have traffic, is constantly being optimized by what we see. It's a living and breathing target map to make sure we are not just driving MQLs. It will not work if I will only look at MQLs, and if they will tell me, Tal, every month you need to drive 10,000 MQLs. I can go and I can drive 10,000 MQLs like that, but will it be the right MQLs that convert to the right amount of revenue? Not sure. And so this is why we constantly optimizing that. Every month we are breaking the revenue targets all the way to MQLs, all the way to channels driving the MQLs. Each channel has its own target.
Let's talk a little bit about Henry. Yes. I got a chance to meet him when I was in Boston, and he's a very unique individual. Like I told you in a private conversation, I felt I'm sitting with a real business shark. But I also noticed that he's actually very opinionated and very active when it comes to marketing. And I wanted to start from this fun post that he made where the marketing team was updating logo on different platforms, while the sales team didn't have enough leads or the revenue targets weren't hit. And Henry was making a point that revenue comes first, and things like updating your logo is not as important. This kind of, again, I want to ask somewhat a tricky question. Does Henry not believe in brand marketing? Because again, this is like a little bit of a holy war in the business world. Brand marketing is so ephemeral. You cannot really measure it. You cannot really tie it to MQLs. But yeah, what does Henry think of brand marketing initiatives?
I feel that I need to clear my name. That this incident about the logo happened before me, but it's okay. I will take one for the team. Henry believes in performance. We all believe in performance. At the end, like I told you, what is important is the ACV and what can influence ACV and what can drive growth. We all believe in that. This is why we think this is what we need to focus on. Brand is extremely important part of this function, but you cannot shift and invest just in brand and feel that everyone love your brand without being able to drive the performance or to connect between a lovable brand to the fact that it's driving performance.
And cash in your bank.
Yes, we are investing in our brand in a way that, the relationship that we have with our customer, the relationship that we have with our prospect, their experience and their journey with us. This is how we are investing in brand. I don't know if we were able to measure, attribution of doing Super Bowl ads or many billboards to drive that performance. And I would love to be proved wrong, and I would love to do billboards and Super Bowl ads, but we are focused on driving brand and brand engagement, probably not in a traditional channels, more in the relationship channels with our customers, with our prospects. And this is what we believe in.
Well, again, you did do billboards, because while Henry posted this post that we shouldn't be updating a logo when the revenue targets aren't hit, at the same time, I was listening to a podcast interview with, what's her name? Megan Barr, right? From your team.
Yes.
And she was saying that it was Henry's idea when he first noticed that a lot of customers were complaining about your international data. And then the product team has fixed it. And he got this idea that why don't we make a campaign out of it where we would have billboards where I, CEO, would kind of apologize to the customers and say, thank you for your feedback, we have fixed it. And then you made a short video around it, posted it on social networks. Pretty cool campaign, which came directly from Henry. And I don't think that this campaign is something measurable, right? So it's not that you were able to measure how it performed.
Yes, but remember what I told you a minute ago. We build brand by our relationship with our customers. And this billboard is exactly that. Is to go in front of our customers and in front of our prospects or in front of buyers that didn't choose us because of reason 1, 2, 3, and to tell them, and we needed a billboard to tell them that, and a video, hey, we take full responsibility of not meeting your expectations in this specific use case. That amount of years ago, we took that, we fixed that, and we are asking for another shot. Again, it's a campaign to be honest, to take responsibility, to strengthen the relationship with our customers and our prospects and our potential buyers, and not just to put our logo out there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what leading the campaigns that we are running. It's not just about putting the brand out there. It's to add value to the brand.
Yeah. Yeah, when I first started doing research on ZoomInfo, I did feel like you are very sales driven, so there was little inbound. And I did, from a few posts of Henry, I did get a feel that he's like very performance oriented, show me the leads, show me the revenue. But then I saw Henry himself doing this billboard campaign, and then I saw him starring in some videos. So there was some challenge where 2 of your sales reps, one was using AI agent to quickly prepare for the meeting and one wasn't. And Henry was kind of like the host of this show, moderating it. So he's happy to participate in those things as well. And these are the kinds of marketing stunts that are not trackable. So I was very happy to see that an organization that initially to me seemed very kind of, we don't believe in brand marketing, we don't believe in creative campaigns. Actually, you do lots of creative campaigns. And again, I also wanted to mention how at Dreamforce you used Labubu to attract attention, and I believe you were personally in Labubu costume. So tell me a little bit about that creativity in your branding approach. Is everyone on board on this? Because it feels that Henry he likes those ideas. Some of them are coming from him. Do you get a lot of opposition? I don't know, from your CRO, like, why would we need those billboards? Let's do more, I don't know, paid marketing where we can track actual clicks. So how do this conversation look like at ZoomInfo?
First of all, our CRO loves those kinds of things. He's always pro for us to go and do those kinds of creative hacks. What you see is great ideas that we execute. In the journey, we also had a lot of bad ideas that we didn't execute or that the CRO or the CEO didn't like, so they shut it down. But I think there is a lot of room for creativity. And again, like I told you, creativity with value. If we want to go and to relaunch a product that maybe failed in the past, we will go and we will take responsibility in front of the customers. If we want to stand out in the middle of probably the crowdest event in the industry, Salesforce, it will be to take the most trendy thing like Labubu and stand in the middle of San Francisco and take pictures with people. We are trying to think outside of the box. We are trying to not do the traditional things, but to think outside of the box and to move something in the heart of the people that are watching it, and to stay for them to remember it, and for them to realize the value immediately. And this is what is guiding us. We are not trying to fool ourselves. We are not trying to do, things that are not aligned with a brand. That the core value we want to give to our customers and to our buyers is that we are experts and we want to be your partner and we want to grow with you together. And this is what is leading the brand voice and the campaigns that we are running.
I have a great question for you in this regard. So you say you want to be experts, you want to be partners, you want to give this feeling to your customers. But at the same time, the CMO of $1 billion annual recurring revenue company is in a costume of Labubu, kind of acting silly. I can totally relate. I do a lot of silly stuff myself. Like to promote this very podcast, I was recreating some funny memes and posting them on LinkedIn. And some people were asking me, Tim, you're in B2B. Aren't you afraid of like acting silly, people not taking you seriously? You're a CMO of a much bigger company. So how do you address this kind of question? Aren't you afraid of like looking silly and people not take you seriously?
I think we are doing everything possible to make sure we are not doing silly stuff for people to not take us seriously. I think the Labubu activation was again very customized to the place it happened. We would probably not do, Labubu in a different event. I don't know if you ever been in Salesforce. Salesforce is if you ever been in Dreamforce. But Dreamforce is basically the busiest, the most colorful San Francisco. Like you cannot walk the streets. And everyone are going above and beyond to attract attention. If it's by huge booths that they are building inside the trace, inside the exhibition. And again, because we are trying to attract attention, and the idea was, hey, probably everyone that are coming to the show majority of them will have kids, and majority of them are going in their houses through this Labubu madness. And if we can attract their attention even a little bit by putting this Labubu that everyone are super obsessed with, to invite them to enter a more peaceful, quiet lounge, to drink some water, to take coffee, and to get a demo of a product that we are trying to launch, it's a success. Even if at this point, at this day, we need to be a bit silly to attract the attention, it was a customized play for this specific event. Will we do it in a different event? Maybe not. But for this kind of atmosphere, specifically in Dreamforce, it worked really, really well for us. It drove a lot of traffic to
I would imagine. Yeah, getting attention is super important. It's basically the job of marketing, to get attention. The way I see it, I'm actually inspired by the example of Richard Branson, because he had this bet with his friend, and the loser had to be kind of the female flight attendant on the winner's plane. And this was very famous. He was on all the news in a costume of a female flight attendant with lipstick on his lips. And it was silly, but it was cool. You see that behind this brand, there's a person who can have fun, who doesn't take themselves too seriously. So I think it's cool. I think it's cool that leaders at big companies can do those kinds of things. I'm always happy when I see something like this. Another thing I wanted to dig with you into is something Henry wrote about one of kind of your values or principles. It's called "No Leaders Leaders." Do you understand what I'm referring to? Can
Yes.
you expand what this means?
We are all super hands-on. All of us, all that ELT group that I described earlier, we are all super hands-on. We are not managing VPs or SVPs that managing another group of VPs and senior directors that is managing another group of directors and managers. And all of us are with our teams, acting like role models, understanding the field in and out, understanding the targets, understanding the strategy, not just leading it from very high above, in the weeds with our teams, working very, very close together. And that is a culture that we have at ZoomInfo, at least since I joined and probably before. And that is the type of leaders that we saw that basically working well for us and succeeding.
I love this principle. And just at one other podcast episode I had with Kieran Flanagan from HubSpot, we were discussing how as a leader, as a manager, like I said, you often need to make decisions. You need to unblock your team. And oftentimes you hop on meetings, you're on Slack answering questions. And by the end of the day, you're sitting and looking at your kind of to-do list. Like I didn't get time to do any of the projects that I wanted to do. I was like kind of helping a lot of other people. And I personally, I'm not a fan of like what's called management. Maybe again, I'm being delusional, but I don't like checking in with people. I don't like babysitting people. I don't like making sure that they deliver on like their promises, but I like working with people who manage themselves, where I don't need to babysit them. I discussed an idea with them and I can forget about this because I know that they would take this idea to completion and I would not have to confront them in 2 weeks like, hey, we discussed this idea. Where is it? I don't want to be my job to follow up with people and make sure that they're working. This is silly. You have to find people who love their job, right? And who are happy to take on initiatives, who will come to you and say, hey, Tim, I have these ideas. This is why I want to pursue this one. Do you have any comments? Like, no, I like it. Go do it. And I then, like you're saying, I can also be hands-on. I can focus on learning the industry. I can focus on talking to customers. I can have my own projects like this podcast, for example, where I'm learning from people like yourself. So yeah, I love this principle, and I love that Henry kind of popularizes and instills it at ZoomInfo.
Yeah, I agree.
A little bit about your journey, because again, this is something where I can relate with you a lot. I've been with Ahrefs for over 10 years. You've been with ZoomInfo for 9 years. How did your journey look like? From, I think you came to an entry-level job, and now you're the CMO. So what were the biggest changes over time? Because you were holding some senior, like team leader, director, SVP positions. So how does your role changed in those years, and what are you doing as a CMO right now, which you weren't doing, for example, 5 years ago? How did that change?
So yeah, I started from an analytics role, marketing analytics role. And I think when you do marketing analytics, you can take it to two ways. You can read the news, right? You can look at the numbers every day and you can read the news. Or you can use it to identify opportunities, growth opportunities. And together with who used to be our CMO back then, this is what we were doing all day, every day. I was creating the reports, identify the opportunities. It wasn't even identifying the opportunities. I just found tons of bugs. I found bugs in the funnel. I found bugs in our CRM. I found bugs in the website. Each bug that we fix release more goodness into the funnel. Basically, it's a pipeline, right? And we had holes. And from the analytics role, I was able to activate teams to fix holes. And we started receiving more in the funnel. And it kind of kept the trajectory of growth. And again, 10 years ago, a much younger company, it kept the trajectory of growth and opened more and more opportunities. So perfect. We fixed the CRM, then we fixed the website, and then we fix this campaign and we fix that campaign just by looking at the numbers and identify those opportunities. And once we fix one thing, they ask me, can you also own the website? And then can you also own this part of the funnel and that part of the funnel? So it grew to this kind of a marketing operation role. And then because we are ZoomInfo and I was using ZoomInfo a lot to optimize the funnel, I was giving without stop requirements to the engineers and to our product team. Hey, I need a product to do that, and I need this data point, and we need this, and we need that. So it kind of also grew to a product role. And for many years, I was doing a combination of marketing and product. Again, some of them were entry roles, some of them were more of junior management, we can call it. But it grew and grew and grew. I think, again, what powered the growth is one, loving what I'm doing, being super curious, and motivated by success and growth. When I saw that we developed this feature on the product side and that amount of customers are using it and it's empowering success and, NPS among customers, and it's working and our sellers are excited about selling it, it gave me inspiration. When we launch a campaign or when we optimize a campaign, when we redesign the landing page and we saw how much it can influence, it's just, again, empowers the motivation, and loving it, being super curious and prioritizing the company and the success of the company almost above everything, kind of drove and powered that journey.
How many CMOs did you have before you, while you were growing up the ranks?
I think in the past 9 years, we had before me 3 CMOs.
3 CMOs.
Yeah.
I'm kind of jealous because my situation is different. I came to Ahrefs as the first and only marketer in the team. And I managed to always stay as a leader. Yeah, I had to grow. I had to figure out new responsibilities. I had to hire the right people, put them in place, and always make sure that I'm one step ahead. That once I cover this channel, I'm going to another channel. Once I cover this channel, I'm going to... So I always had to evolve, but I always was kind of not feeling sorry for myself, but I wish I had someone to look up to and who would teach me ropes, and I could see how they operate, and I would see what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong. And you basically had 3 examples to observe and see how they operate, what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, how they build relationships with the team, with the stakeholders. So yeah, it's very, very cool that you had this journey and landed where you are right now. Very interesting.
It's critical and it's very important. And I think, as we grow and we meet this seniority level, you constantly need to surround yourself with people that you can just talk and brainstorm with. You cannot feel lonely for even 1 second. At the moment that you feel lonely as a marketer, all your creativity will go out. And then you feel that you cannot innovate, you cannot push, you cannot be creative, you cannot come with innovative methods to drive growth if you feel lonely. So that is something I learned on myself. I need to constantly surround myself with people that I can talk with and be creative with and be inspired by. Because if I will not have that, and I will just feel, lonely at the top and need to make all the decisions, it will not result in good outcomes.
Yeah. This is a perfect segue into AI, because right now there's all the talk like, why do you need people? Just hire AI. And now that you said how important it is to surround yourself with smart, inspiring, hardworking people who you can work together, brainstorm together. So given that AI is a huge unlock to productivity and can complete tasks, can help marketers do more, how are you looking at hiring right now? Do you still hire the same amount of people? Do you need few people right now because your marketing organization is more effective? And do you need every single hire to be proficient with AI among the people who hire next?
I think it's a very important and timely question, and a very good question. I don't think that the AI is going to replace all of us. I think that AI is going to accelerate all of us, and I think it's going to allow us to create much faster in a much accurate way, more of what we used to do very, very manual. So, for example, when we look on each stage of the execution that I talked with you earlier, I think that AI can help us a lot with making each step better, right? If it's by looking on the different data sources and unifying them, making sure we operate on the right trigger at the right time with the right message to the right people in the audience, that it's coordinated as well with the right message and the right positioning with our sales partners, that the content, that the messaging, that all of it is working really, really well together. And then also measuring the metrics. If in the past we used to build, dashboards for weeks, today we can just prompt based on the data and get the answer very, very quickly. So I feel that across all of the marketing tasks, AI is accelerating us. We can do much, much more in a much efficient way. In terms of the marketing role, I think that the marketing role is shifting to be more technical people that can operate those AI engines. It's not enough to sit and put a prompt to an AI and to produce one blog. It's not something that is going to make you more efficient, and it's not going to be a game changer with how you use automations and AI. But if you use it to build a template and you guide it to bring the right data sources and to do the right research, and you put your own data sources into it as well, and then you start generating the content based on those guidelines that you gave the AI, this is where you can scale. This is where you can create higher amount of content with that automation, but still keeping the quality of them, because it's very, very, very important. Our ability to go with the personalized message to each content on the target list that we are trying to target is scalable and powered by AI. Going and doing it ourselves, or going and doing AI message to each content one by one, is not going to help us. But creating a full automation for the entire list, that is taking each row, this is what is going to help us scale and really use AI in the right way. To build those kinds of motions, you need more technical marketers. You need people that can connect between the things, that can verify the things. They still need to be super smart in the use case and in the persona, in the value, and in what we are trying to solve. But they also need to be technical in their ability to build or to inspect or to guide on how to build those kinds of automations. I think we are much more looking for product managers than what we were looking in the past, because at the end, each campaign becomes a project or a product that you need to develop, that you need to optimize, that you need to measure, and you need to scale. So we are much more looking for technical people. We are much more looking for product managers. We are much more looking for people that can take something and run with it end to end, and not isolated marketing functions that just do the content, just put the creatives, just publish on the site. It's end to end for the entire channels, how we run and we execute those.
Absolutely agree. Tal, with that, we've reached the end of the interview. I have just 3 quick rapid fire questions for you. First one, favorite book about marketing / business?
I have so many. Probably the 7 Habits of Management.
Second one, name a company in B2B space whose marketing you enjoy and like. Is there anyone?
I'm blacking out on the name. I really like the campaign with The Office.
The Office?
It? Yeah, when they brought
the Gamma, where they brought an actor from The Office to kind of in the CEO's office.
Yes,
that's Gamma. That's Gamma. I'm actually interviewing their head of marketing tomorrow, so that will be an interesting interview. And finally, and finally, is there any kind of marketing leader or marketing thought leader who you follow and learn from, whether on LinkedIn or from the interviews or maybe personally? I don't know.
Probably the person I learned the most of is Henry.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And I don't know if he's the traditional marketing leader, but for me, he's the traditional growth, like not traditional, but probably the best growth driver. And he can talk with you about marketing. He can talk with you about sales. He can talk with you about technology and about product and about everything. So for me, he's the number one inspiration for everything. But of course, I also follow and track many others.
Yeah. Tal, thanks a lot for the interview. It has been amazing. I learned a lot from you today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great.